I'm good. Barely. Just a little bit. There we go. Thank you.
It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, The Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake in just seconds. First of all, I want to give you some contact information to let you know how to get in touch with Blake Sloan at his office at Sloan Realty Group. Remember to look up the right one, Sloan Realty Group. 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD, sold. Or you can go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Either way, you'll get in touch with Blake. Let's go ahead and get this thing started now. Let's say hello to Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. We got an awesome show. Tons and tons of great information. The marketplace is still crazy. And we'll have today's the 24th straight COVID-19 Corona edition. We're kind of seeing that level out a little bit here, at least in our marketplace. But tons of great info for you. We have the brand new market numbers for anyone that missed last week's show. We'll kind of dig into one, how our market performed last week, how it's performed real time, aka properties that went under contract. That's been kind of what we've really been watching hardcore. Prices last month over 20%. We'll talk about kind of what's happening there as well. Some huge news. Like our team, again, we think we're at the fourth or fifth week straight over 20 plus properties under contract, which has been awesome. Some amazing success stories. We also have a huge horror story about someone who we talked to briefly, didn't really get a chance to meet, was trying to save money, basically didn't get an agent, and cost himself $90,000 as a home seller. And so I want to share that because this is the reason we do this show, right? We'll talk more about that. I've had this other thing on the list for the past 3 weeks. We just haven't had time. Is the new 2020 home buyer preference report. It's very powerful to kind of show what are buyers doing right now within the current marketplace. Like, there's so much chaos, but I was talking to somebody last night, a friend from out of town, that the one thing that kind of remains steady in most cities here in the South is that the real estate market is still strong, right? We're seeing massive influxes of people who are moving from larger cities, coming into areas like Myrtle Beach, escaping, fear of COVID-19, also some of the unrest. And we've seen a lot of people frustrate their government, both local and state, who are trying to get out of there and move down here. And so we have a perfect storm, right? Interest rates back down again this week, which is awesome. A lot of movement on the high end. We just put another large property on the waterway under contract this past week. And so we'll get in and just talk about the nitty gritty, what's happening. I'll give you guys an overall snapshot of what happened last month, and I'll give you a real-time data, input of what we can look forward to next month once August numbers come in.
All right, a lot of stuff coming up in this show, and we are just getting started. If this is the first time you're tuning in and you want to know who this guy is, he's Blake Sloan. He's been known as the real estate whiz kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, and other national publications. You've seen him on TV with NBC. You've seen Fox and Friends with Morning Show as well. You've heard the personal endorsements here from Sean Hannity, from Glenn Beck, also from Barbara Corcoran, Gary LeBlanc, and others. Put them all together, and it's just unprecedented. Now, every week we hear a little bit about the trademark systems that Blake has for both home sellers and home buyers. Can't give you all the details of all of them because, well, they're trademarked. But very happy to tell you the most important part about those systems.
Yes, and this is something, like I said, this is the calling behind this show. The reason we do this show, the horror story example we talked about, person leaving $90,000 on the table is the reason that we do this show. Because here's the thing, right? Everyone makes this huge mistake of thinking that real estate agents are all the same. It could not be further from the truth, right? Just like if you're charged with a crime you did not commit, you want somebody who's the absolute best, who's fanatical what they do, who has the experience and who has the skill set to get you off that crime. And so from us, we know that the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. That thing is the agent you choose, period. Well, why is that? Well, in selling a house, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, what's that do? That puts money in your pocket, the property gets sold. If anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball, that costs you your hard-earned equity. That could be anything from, does that agent actually answer the phone? If buyers are calling them off a for sale sign, do they even answer the phone? Do they respond to the web leads online? What do the pictures look like of your property online? Are the pictures in the right order? And there's so many aspects of that. And so most agents are just winging it. They're doing the 3 Ps. 1, they promise you the world to get listing. 2, they put it to the MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're trying to survive in the business, and they're down the street knocking on your neighbor's door trying to get them to sell their house so they can keep that machine going, right? So we're much, much different. So the first thing I did is I said, look, let's identify what these variables are. That's how we know there's 118 of them. We create a system that's proven and repeatable that creates maximum leverage at every single point. We call it stacking the dominoes. So we have a system in place for point 1, system in place for point 2. When you stack those up over 118, you have small gaps that create a massive gap on the back end that give our clients a huge competitive advantage. That system is called the guaranteed sold system. The only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods, and it works very, very, very well. I designed it, like Dave mentioned, trademarked, licensed to other agents, other parts of the country, but it works very, very, very well. What makes it run is really 3 things. 1, capital, right, to make the machine run, to make investments up front on your behalf. 2, the people on the team, because there's a team of people who are specialists, not just a generalist. We have technology we built that makes sure the same thing happens the same way every single time. And so it's like a marathon, right? Everyone takes off at the same exact time. They have a shotgun start, people start running. Everything looks the same for a little bit. But what happens is over time, people spread out. And some finish 2 and 3 hours ahead of other people. Some don't finish at all. And so that's what that system does. And it's designed to give you a huge competitive advantage, not to mention the expertise and guidance and making sure you're making the right decisions. Now, on the flip side, there's 100 plus variables on the buying side. Usually, they're opposite variables. And so we create a separate system there called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System and get you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, and all the way through closing in the home inspection. And so that, again, is designed to give you one thing only, the ultimate competitive advantage. And you find out, especially in negotiation, the average agent in our MLS sells less than 4 homes a year. And so the reality is they're just trying to pay rent next month. They're trying to put some food on the table. And so we see them throw their clients under the bus every single day just about just to try to survive. And so you want to have a system and a team who has thousands and thousands of negotiations behind them, and ultimately someone who actually has a system to give you a huge competitive advantage.
All right, sounds good. Let's just get started in the show. We got a long way to go. Coming up in just 1 minute, we'll get an update on what's going on as far as our local market is concerned. Also, we'll look at what the interest and mortgage rates are looking like as well. That plus a heck of a lot more. It's all coming up. If you'd like to get in touch with Blake, you can. The phone number at his office at Sloan Realty Group is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, if you are in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets, and one of the lessons I have learned is this: hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible. Plus, it's like getting an immediate offer on your home, because if your home doesn't sell for the price and the deadline you agree to, you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can demand right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a second, we'll see what the mortgage rates are looking like right now. But right now, let's look at an update on what the real estate market is looking like.
It's still crazy, super, super crazy. It is balls to the wall, pedal to the metal, however you want to say it. We've been pushing hard like crazy, and that's one thing that with my team, we've been burning at both ends for months now, just trying to deal with this craziness of everyone moving to Myrtle Beach from all across the country. We have one of the success stories today, someone from Las Vegas who bought here sight unseen without seeing the property, everything done before she even, basically everything done remotely. And so we just seen this happen over and over again, and it's been absolute chaos. And I'll give you a quick recap for anyone that's missed a show, or even an update for our listeners who listen a lot. There's two types of numbers that matter. There's numbers that close, right? Like what's the market doing from our closed sales, prices, all that stuff. The one thing to remember, those are lagging numbers, right? They're lagging indicators. And so the closed sales from last month, what we talk about most of the time, they happen 30, 45 days, sometimes 60 days prior. And so you want to look at that because that gives an indication of what's closing. But you can't use that as real-time data because that doesn't really give a feel for what's happening right now. So I'll give you a quick update of like what happened in the last 7 days. If you remember, back when the shutdown happened, it went down to 300 and 350 properties per week going under contract, which is absolutely terrible. Then they got to 400, they got 600, and then about a month ago, we were over 700, 750, over 200, $215 million per week going under contract. It went back down a little bit into the 650s and 640s. That means 640 under contract per week. That was 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's when rates started shooting back up. They're back down this week, is great, but sales are back up. So the last 7 days right now, if you remember last week's show, it was just like right at high 600s, I think 690-ish. 731 properties under contract in the last 7 days here, 198 million, which means our market is still pumping, right? Lots of high-end stuff, bunch of properties over $1 million. We just got a $700,000 under contract ourselves yesterday. And one of the largest sale right now, $6 million under contract in the last 7 days. So there's a lot of money coming in town from out of the area. Another one here, 2.2 million under contract, 1.995 in Dunes Cove. And so there's some big stuff moving with a lot of money from out of town. And so what's that mean? We're still hot. We had a little, I guess you say, jolt of energy come back as rates drop back down this week. We'll talk about that as well. But what that means is if I'm a home seller, I want to take advantage of this, right? Their inventory is super low. People are still moving like crazy, but it's still enough where people are moving, and we'll continue watching that. So I want to share that because that's what the pace of the market is doing right now. Anything near 700 and above is smoking. So great news there. Now, I basically predict that next month's numbers, which we'll have on next week's show, will be very, very, very good as well. So here we go. Single family sales last month, which is basically July. The sales up 25.9% last month alone, which is awesome. So if you go back to last year in July, there's only 564 homes sold. This year, 710. And so you can obviously see the increase there as well. The other cool part here to look at is price, right? Average sale price last month alone is up 22.4%, $339,055, right at an all-time high for our entire marketplace, which is awesome, awesome news there. In that regard, the median price up over 17%. The months of supply, that's been the crazy part. The amount of properties for sale down 37%. It was actually more than that, but there's been a few more homes in the market. 3.4 months of inventory on the market right now. So it's 37% amount of homes, less amount of homes for sale. Now here's the crazy part. You add that and combine that with a 25% increase in sales. What do you think the pressure is going to be? The pressure ends up being in price, and that's why you're seeing price shoot up like crazy. We're getting multiple offers, a lot of properties. We're selling them within literally hours to buyers that we already have in waiting. And so that's the reality right now. If you're a home seller, you want to take advantage of that. It's all supply and demand based. Demand is up tremendously, right? Supply is down, which gives you a huge competitive advantage from a buy side. And we're seeing that in all the graphs as well. The one thing you're looking at too is showings per listing. So that's like how much traffic is here right now still. It's up 29.8%. From the same month last year, which is great. And so I foresee the numbers being very, very, very good for August when they come in. We'll see what happens here in the shoulder season in that aspect. There's still a lot of pain in other areas where people are moving out of, right? Specifically metropolitan areas that people do not want to be in. And so that's just something that's great for us and is allowing Myrtle Beach to continue to grow as well. New construction actually is doing really well last month as well. New construction sales up 17.4%. Last month, their big challenge there is trying to keep up with inventory. Inventory was down 21% for new construction. And in the condos and townhomes, if you look at condos overall, their sales actually overall, actually wrong button there, up 25.5%. And so condos are smoking too. They struggled a little bit during the shutdown. Part of that was because we had trouble getting in to see them. They were locked down, literally. So we have people that wanted to see them buy it. We literally couldn't get in the front door. And so they're recovering very, very well. If you look at the graph, it's like straight up. And it goes up 25.5%, which is awesome, awesome news there as well. And the same thing with condos is that inventory is down significantly there as well, down 5.8%. And so what does it mean overall? It means that if I'm a seller, right, we are a seasonal marketplace. We're coming to that shoulder season. We see shoulder season always previously has been a different type of buyer. We see a lot more high-end stuff. People may not be looking for a vacation, but our agents, our team have been seeing a lot of people that's been talking about fall, right? They want to avoid the crowds a little bit. The serious buyers are coming in town. So if you or anybody you know is thinking about selling, take advantage of this. We just heard the numbers. You got 20+% increase in sales, right? 37% decrease in properties available. You can see my problem there, right? The good news is the people that benefit that the most are home sellers who are getting way more money than they thought they were, getting way more benefits, because most people think they have much less equity than they actually do. And so great news overall. One thing that's driving that has been interest rates. We'll look at last week, we hit another kind of close to the half. Remember, they were jumping back up the past few weeks. Last week's show was 3.06%. Right now we're back down 2.95%. Awesome, right? So glad to be back below the 3 in that aspect. So 30-year fixed right now, 2.96%. A 15-year fixed rate, 2.51%. A 30-year FHA, 2.35%, a jumbo loan, 3.59%, which is awesome, and a 5-year adjust rate mortgage, 3.05. And so that's like a little shot of adrenaline to the arm, I guess, so to speak. I was reading this report, kind of prepping for the show. I don't have it here on the agenda, but searches for refinancing their home was up 4,000% in the past few months, which is crazy, right? And so we're seeing a lot of clients do that. We have a lot of investor clients went from 30-year to 15-year, a lot of stuff. If you want to know more about that and what to do, and you just want some guidance, like, look, that's what we're here for. I've been here my whole life. We've been here for a very long time in the marketplace. You just reach out to myself, to my office. Give us a call for anything you have, 843-808-SOLD.
All right, sounds good. We still got a lot of show to get to. In just a minute, your hot buyer alert going to be coming up. Also, we're going to be finding out some of the success stories. Hopefully, you're more on the success stories instead of the other side of the spectrum, because there are some horror stories that are out there as well. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Get a lot of great information for you. If you want to get in touch with Blake, it's easy to do. Call him at his office at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts.
How are we looking on time?
When I'm moving on won the award for ACM Song of the Year, it struck a chord with folks who understand that
There's quite a bit left. Got about 10 and a half minutes.
Cool, perfect, okay.
It comes time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service.
That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com, or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start hacking.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a second, we'll see some of those success stories. Right now, though, I want to let you know that Blake and his team working with just a ridiculous amount of home buyers, and they're looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, anywhere from the 150,000 range up to 3.5 million. It's a big range, but if you're in there and even thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately, because he is really desperate for inventory. Give him a call at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. How many people are out there looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area on Blake's website? 58,465 is the latest number I'm seeing here, checking it up in real time. That's a lot of people that are looking for homes, your home.
Yes, crazy. And like Dave mentioned, these are real people, like username, password account. Why is that? Well, I have a business model that gives me a huge competitive advantage, right? We have team-based brokerage where we outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. If you remember, a few shows back, but 20 shows back when we started this, 24 shows back, I said, look, here's the deal. I'm keeping the pedal to the metal in marketing. We're going to keep doing what we do, driving traffic from all over the country, and it's definitely been happening, right? We have massive amounts of buyers, but you heard earlier, the inventory down 37%. We have massive amounts of buyers, and so we need inventory. But like these are real hot buyers, and like they mentioned, these are actual people. The 58,000 plus. Like this guy, they show it links to their social media account. So like I see their pictures. Like right now, I got Jose Sequeira. He's got sunglasses on, and he's from Albemarle, North Carolina. He's been to 163 visits to the site that he's been on here as well. So we got Ann Nelson. She's from I can't even say this, Moultonborough, New Hampshire. They look long in there. We got another one, Carl Cathart from Belisara, Massachusetts. Been on the site. 414 properties looked at so far. We from all over. We got Mary from Waynesboro, North Carolina. I got Joey and Pat from Wilson, North Carolina. I got Tony from Charleston, South Carolina. So the reality is they're from all over looking, real users, real passwords, and I need inventory. And so anyone that's thinking about selling, if you like them, don't like them, friend, relative, whatever it is, if they mention real estate, mention selling, do me a favor and say, look, you got to call my buddy Blake, 843-808-SOLD, because we have this technology, right? And here's the thing, what makes you different, Blake, right? People ask that question, what makes you different in selling my home? Well, the reality is I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars before you ever call me to get buyers, to have buyers. I don't wait till we put a for sale sign in your front yard to start getting some buyers and start marketing for you. I've been marketing like this for years. And so that's what gives our client a huge competitive advantage. We even have technology that we've helped to kind of develop that allows us to take any new listing we get. We put it in here to this 58,000 plus buyers. It reverse engineers the most likely buyer for your property based on their previous search patterns. And so again, I mentioned this last week. This is why many agents are still trying to figure out how to use email and Microsoft Outlook. We have high level algorithms that'll go in and pull out the most likely buyers that we already have for your property based on their activity online. And so if you want to have that type of technological advantage, you need to make sure you reach out to me. And we share this on the show each week because these are real buyers, right? These are real things that we have. And my number one struggle right now is finding inventory that we can sell that obviously people like and want to buy. And so if it needs work, doesn't matter. If it needs a little stuff, most people I think tend to overanalyze. Like most of our clients, we don't have them do a lot of fixing up or anything, right? We can sell it pretty much as is, do a little bit of gingerbreading. But most people I find just being in thousands of houses, they think that it's worse than it is. We can help you regardless of situation. Doesn't matter if it's, something that needs a little bit of work, something that needs a tremendous amount of work. If you can have an investor buy it out, I also represent a fund with millions of dollars that we can buy something out instantly if needed. And so really happy about that. And really, I want to get to a couple of success stories just because our team has been smashing it. And again, there's so many people out there that are having different challenges. And I tell you what, I'm gonna hit that horror story first, just because it triggers me so much. And it's one of those that y'all hear. And even this week, we listed somebody who called a couple agents before they called us, was a listener to the show. They met with us and we blew them away. But like, man, why don't you just call us first? And we had this person, I don't think was from the show, but so this guy Terry called us a month ago to list his house, very high end home in the north end in North Myrtle Beach. So he wanted to get the property sold. We weren't able to get it with him, go in detail. We were able to show what it was. He had this story though. He kept telling us over and over he hated realtors. He hated realtors. I'm like, okay, well, totally understand that. The average agent sells 4 homes a year. I'd be frustrated too in most situations. But thankfully, we're the top 1% in North America. Long story short, we're going back and forth. And Joe, our VIP concierge, called him this week, and one of the guys, Jeremy, on my team, did a full market analysis for him already because we were wanting to meet with him, trying to meet with him, and we determined that he could probably get at least 610 plus if you need to do it quick for the property. We called him and said, look, man, I listed on there on a flat fee service. I got it under contract in 1 day. And Joe's like, man, okay. And he said, well, how much did you do it for? And he said, we got $520,000. And Joe about fell out of his chair because all of our notes are in our software. And he said, well, dang, you should have let me know if you're just going to give it away, because sold it very quickly at $610,000. This dude listed trying to feed $90,000 right there. And so this happens all the time. And this is just the one from this week, but I remember. And I told Joe, I said, I'm gonna write this down right now when Joe told me about it, so I didn't forget about it. Because here's the thing, man, like have at least some openness to really think through it. Like, yeah, you're gonna save 3%. That's not near as much as leaving $90,000 on the table. And this happens over and over because he listed himself. He feel like, I don't know, $300 or $400 or $500, whatever it is, to put it to MLS. No one represented him. No one advised them. Like, especially in the hot market right now, like your Zillow thing is not very accurate. People are going to pay much more from that. We're even having trouble with appraisals keeping up with the amount that people will pay for, much less some software that doesn't know anything about your property. And so do not be that person, right? Don't be the one that calls me after you trial the market, because here's the thing. Most time, Terry, like these Terrys, they don't get a second chance. They don't get a second chance to get that $90,000 back. Some of you all call us after it listed with a friend or relative and it didn't sell after 6 months. Like, call us the first time. And so this is something that obviously you can tell I get worked up about, because this is my passion, right? This is what we do. And this is something that I really want to make sure anyone listens to the show. Don't let your friend be Terry, right? Don't be Terry. So one of those things that, what's the video where the guy, the fireworks are shooting and the guy's like, Terry, back the wheelchair up. It's like, don't be Terry. And so move on to that. Awesome success stories here. Really cool story here. And this is similar. James and his family inherited a home in Pawleys Island from their mother who passed away. They've been trying to sell it for a couple years. They had a couple investors too. And this is another thing you got to watch out for. They claimed they're investors. They put the property under contract. But what they did is they kept dragging it out because they were what they call wholesalers. Most time wholesalers, you know what they are? They don't have any money to actually close on your property. They just tie it up. And so he was frustrated. Thankfully, he was referred to us by a radio listener. The thing with them is they wanted top dollar for it, for the family, but they didn't want to make any repairs. We're like, no problem, we can get that done. We came in, designed a custom marketing plan, launched our Globe Marketing Blitz, professional photos, virtual reality walkthrough. We drove massive traffic and coupled. I think we had about 15, 16 showings in 2 days. We had a cash offer from one of our buyers that Patrick and our team was already working with, match him up, cash buyer, under contract, right at full price, within basically, I think, 2 days. It went on a Friday. I had under contract, at least an offer accepted on Monday. And now James and his family don't have to worry about timeline. They aren't wasting any more time. We got them way, way more money than those investors even offered him, in which they tied that property up. And so definitely be more like James, less like Terry, right? Another one, Yusuf and his wife, awesome clients. They actually listen to the show as well. They upgraded to a larger home for their growing family. The problem is they need to sell the other home, their first home, quickly, so they don't have to pay 2 mortgages. The second part of that is they needed max amount of money. They interviewed many agents for us, weren't impressed. Thankfully, heard of success stories in this station, called us. We came in, launched our Globe Marketing Blitz, professional photos. Within 1 week, drove massive traffic, had it under contract within 1 week. Now they're able to move on, not have to worry. And so this is the thing over and over. And one quick buyer, what I want to get to, Baron on our team has been crushing it, but really cool. Wendy, and I gave a shout out to her, is that basically she'd been looking for a property for a while, finally found $180,000, fully remodeled, headed so. But the cool part is she just sold her property in Las Vegas. We negotiated for it to be contingent upon her property in Vegas closing, so she could seamless back-to-back closings. But here's the coolest part. She did virtual showings, did virtual tours of homes for her, found the perfect home for her and 2 dogs. All of that was negotiated without Wendy being here or seeing any of it. And we're seeing more of that than we've ever seen before in 2020. And so bottom line is, you want to make sure you have an expert who's going to help you out. There's so many nuances and ins and outs where, even for me, right, I live, eat, breathe this stuff, and sometimes you got to make sure you double check the data to make the best decisions. So make sure you have someone who's knee deep in this all day, every day. And so also, how much time I got? We're still growing our team. The one thing you saw, 58,000 plus buyers. My second biggest challenge is finding people that can run at speed that we want to, right? We're always pushing hard. We want to over-deliver to our clients. And so if you're in sales game, or if you're in real estate listening to this or watching online, we're always looking to add to our team if you're an A player. If you want to serve and push hard, reach out to me, call me in my office, and we're more than happy to help you in any way, for sure.
All right. A lot of opportunities for everything, whether you're looking for career, whether you're looking to buy, whether you're looking to sell. Look at the same place. That would be Sloan Realty Group. Call Blake today at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. If you missed something during the show today, or you want to talk real estate, he's the man to talk to. Also go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. We'll do it again next week.
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
Of course you will. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. And your friend Sean